subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we can act upon them. We learn them things which displease Him, so we can stop doing them things. Even if you've heard the guidance maybe before, but if you have not implemented this in our life, it is as though you've never heard it. So if you are practicing already, mashallah, very good, continue. Maybe you can do some extra worship. But if you are struggling and you feel that you're shackled in the traps of shaitan, his nafs, you feel trapped and you're struggling, then use this as a means to start your journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because sometimes it's only one thing that can put the fear in the heart of a believer, and then inshallah they start doing tawbah and they commence their journey. So mashallah, remember that if you have any preconceived ideas or any, just leave them outside. Come with an empty mind, an empty cup. So like you have a glass of water, if it was already filled, you cannot fill it anymore. It's a glass that is already filled, or even if it's half filled, you can only get so much. But if you have an empty glass, then inshallah the more empty it is, the more we can pour. But not only that, we have to have it the right way as well. If it's upside down, it's not receptive, you're thinking here and there, your mind is going here and there, this is not for me, or I'm not bothered, etc., etc., then even if the whole ocean was to be poured on that glass, nothing would enter. The knowledge, the wisdom that would come, nothing would enter. But if we just turned our house, the glass upside the right way, be receptive, be willing to learn and accept, and inshallah you will benefit. Even if you had 25 milliliters of water pouring in, you will still benefit. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you in this world and the hereafter for attending. I believe we do not have a naat or such. If anyone would like to volunteer to recite Quran or read a naat, if not, yes, mashallah, come, don't be shy. Inshallah, mashallah, this Allah rewarding. What's your name, brother? Okay, mashallah, Muhammad Hasnain is going to read a naat for us, then after which we will begin our discourse.
Sallallahu alayka ya Rasul Allah, wa sallam alayka ya Habib Allah. तेरे सदके में आका सारे जहाँ को दीन मिला, तेरे सदके में आका सारे जहाँ को दीन मिला, बेदीनों ने कलमा पढ़ा ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरुल्लाह नूर मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह। सिमत नबी बो जहल गया, आका से उसने ये कहा, गर हो नबी बतलाओ जरा, मेरी मुट्ठी में है क्या। सिमत नबी बो जहल गया, आका से उसने ये कहा, गर हो नबी बतलाओ जरा, मेरी मुट्ठी में है क्या। का फरमान हुआ और फजले रहमान हुआ, मुट्ठी से पत्थर बोला ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरुल्लाह नूर मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह। वो जो बिलाले हबशी है, सरवरगी का प्यारा है, दुनिया के हर आशिक की आँखों का तारा है। आंखों का वो तारा है जुल्म हुए कितने उन पर सीने पे रखा पत्थर लब पर फिर भी जारी रहा ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरुल्लाह नूर मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूलुल्लाह
Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, Imam Qais out who are going to deliver the Nasiyah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem wa ma umiru illa liya'budullaha mukhlisina lahud-din hunafa wa yuqimus salata wa yutuz zakata wa dhalika dinul qayyimah sadaqallahul azim Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammadin nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa tasliman kathira. Amma ba'd. We praise Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Exalted, and we thank Him that we have still some time left. We don't know how long, but we have still some time left to exist, to worship Him, to ask forgiveness from Him, to return back to Him if we've forgotten Him, to amend our ways before our time comes to an end. And as you know, these are days of the Hijjah where the Hujjaj, the people have gone for Hajj. Soon, some of them have already started, and soon most will start returning back from the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after performing the rites of Hajj, and they'll be returning back to us. Some will not. These are blessed days, especially the first 10 days that we passed through, and we celebrated the day of Eid as well. The days in which are very numerous in rewards, Barakat al-Deen, the very blessed days, such days that no other days are equivalent to it, as the Rasulullah said. So a lot of you would have been exerting yourself in terms of doing good deeds, ibadah, worship, nawafil. A lot of you still are. Some of you may be thinking of going for Umrah, some of you may be thinking of going to Mazarat for blessing or for barakah. Some are fasting, some will be praying extra nawafil, and all for the purpose of what? Accumulating our deeds. Now, think for a short while is that imagine if you were accumulating wealth. If I was to give you, or let's say your mom or your dad or your brother, or if yourself actually had a pot in which you're putting £1 every hour in that pot. So if £1 every 24 hours, you should have £24. Sometimes you get lucky and maybe you get £5, sometimes you might get £10. So you put it away. Now would it be a shame, would it not be a shame that in that pot or in that box there seems to be a hole, that every time you put the £1, it seems to go away? And you didn't know there was a hole. So what happens is that after the month, you are thinking, Alhamdulillah, I've been putting so many pounds every day. When you come for the end of the month, you see that, wait a minute, where's the money gone?
because you didn't realize there was a big hole in which all the money was actually going away. Now, what would you say to that person? Is that they say, didn't you realize? If he was to come to you and say to you, oh brother, look, I think there's a thief in the house, I think there's somebody who's been stealing, you might go to your mom, you might go to your dad, mom, dad, has somebody been stealing my money? You might go to your brother, have you seen anybody stealing my money? You might accuse them as well, they're stealing your money. Why? It's because the money's gone missing. You have worked hard, you've been depositing money away every single day, every single hour, and what's happened at the end of it, end of the month, you expect some money, but you don't actually see any money. It's a strange matter. How could that be? Now, who is at fault? So you start thinking, maybe somebody in the house. You start becoming suspicious. You start to blame your mom. You start to blame your dad. You start to blame your brothers. Maybe your friends. Anybody you thinking apart from yourself. But the real thing should have been is that when you got the box, when you were putting the money in, did you check whether there was deficiency in that box or not? Did you check there was a hole there? Did you check actually this is safe or not? Is it actually keeping it safe? For example, what I'm trying to say here is that if in reality we knew the bank, your money was going away every day, when you come to realize, you say the bank, I'm changing bank, automatically change the bank, and you probably sue the bank. Saying, listen, I put in my hard-earned money inside the bank every single month, and my money seems to be disappearing. Where is it going to? I didn't authorize this payment. Where is it going? If your numbers keep on decreasing day by day, you get worried, extremely worried. You may sue the bank. You may change to a different bank, because that's how much action you take. If you were to give that money to somebody's house or for possession because you trust them, and if that money goes away, you'd be even more furious. You get people together and say, listen, you get the responsible people, your family members saying, this person was entrusted with my money, he has lost it, now he has to give me back. But at the end of the day, here is that when you do come to realize that what the problem is, or when you do come to realize your money is disappearing, and you know why, and then you don't still do anything about it, who is to blame then? It's yourself. If you know there's a hole in the box, why put the money again then? If you know this person is trusted, is not trustworthy, you don't give your money to that person to save it. If you know the bank is going to steal your money away, you don't go to the bank, you go to a different bank. Here is that when you realize the fault, you need to act. If you keep on doing that fault, if you keep on going to the same fault, same problem, there's something wrong with you then. And you are to blame. All these days, and throughout the year, and as we are coming to the end of the year, we've all been performing these, inshallah, mashallah. You kept fast, you've done nafli ibadat, you prayed, your 5 daily prayers, you've been doing nafli deeds, you've been doing tasbihat, durood, salawat, naat, reading books, learning and doing charitable deeds. You've been earning reward all throughout the year. But imagine if at the end of the year you have nothing. How would that person feel? Imagine you have thought, I've done so much good this year. I've been so good, I've been praying, alhamdulillah, I've gone for Hajj, I've gone for Umrah, I've actually gone and recited the whole Quran, khatam of the Quran, not once but 3 times I've done the khatam of the Quran this year. I've memorized some surahs. I am actually doing such charitable work. I've helped this person out. Now imagine all those things that you think, and you are accumulating this. I've earned a lot of money, I've earned a lot of rewards, but at the end of the year, like the end of the year is coming, you're analyzing, you're expecting a big paycheck. What happens? You get 0, or some of us might even be in minus. People think, what happened here? What's going on? And it will be the case for us. It will be the case. Why? Now today I'm going to actually expose why. Hopefully I'll shed some light as to why. And this, hopefully after today, you need to act. What I'm about to tell you, probably one of a very important hadith which I'm about to relate, is that if you do not act, And if you do not realize, then even as the hadith actually said, I won't mention, but it is you are at extreme loss and it's only yourself to blame. So the hadith, Sayyidina Mu'az bin Jabal radhiyallahu anhu was actually mounted behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're mounting the animal, and they looked to Rasulullah looked towards the sky, and then he started narrating, "O Mu'az," the Rasulullah said, "Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created 7 heavens, 7 angels before He created the 7 heavens. So before the 7, He created 7 angels, malaika, which are responsible in each. You could say they're the chiefs, responsible angel for each heaven, for the 7 heavens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And He placed a guardian for those angels. These are the guardians of those, the guardian angel for each heaven. So nobody can go past them without their permission. Nobody can enter, nobody can go past. That's why night of Mi'raj, you even imagine, this is Rasulullah because the nizam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is such amazing, is that the malaika follow to the latter, even though this is the messenger of Allah. Still, when Jibreel is saying, and they knew it's the messenger of Allah, they asked, who is it? I am Jibreel. Who is with you? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is with me, Muhammad bin Abdullah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is here. Okay, he is here. Okay, we have been given authorization from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let you enter. You may enter. Otherwise, no one can enter. That is how strict the angels are. Now, what's happened is that he sallallahu went to say 2 angels every day. 2 angels in a day. 2 angels always ascend to the heavens, to the samawat, to the heavens, with the deeds that we perform, the good deeds. And what happens is that these good deeds are radiant, fluorescent light, the radiant lights, beautiful, shimmering lights which can fill up the whole sky. That's how they're going to the heavens. Beautiful colored lights, radiance with light like the sun. And when the angels see these good deeds of the deeds of the person, they go in astonishment, they admire, they say how beautiful, how wonderful these deeds are. Now what happens is that when they go in the heavens, listen very carefully now. When it goes to the heavens, when it goes to somewhat, what happens is that they reach, when the good actions of the servant, or the good actions of the servant actually reaches the first heaven. First heaven, from the earth it goes to the first heaven, your good deeds, beautiful, they're going up to the heavens, you've prayed, you've done ibadah, you've done hajj, you've done umrah, you've done tilawat, you've done naat, you've done charity work. Imagine this day, today, whatever good deeds we've done, imagine now it's going up to the heaven. It's going to the first heaven. What happens is that the guardian of the first heaven, the guardian, Malaika, who's the guardian of the first heaven, he says, I am the examiner of backbiting, riba. So he's checking your deeds. Like you go through the airport, they scan your luggage, they scan you, they check if there's anything which is not supposed to come through with you to the airport, to the plane, they check it out. They say, people go back again. Now the Malaika is saying is that I'm the guardian. If my Lord has ordered me not to let the action of the servant pass, your actions, your amals will not go beyond the first heaven. Imagine all those good deeds that you've done. It will not go beyond the first heaven if it contains riba. Have you understood what I said? Is that if I perform riba today, if I now, I'm not protected, but if I don't riba of somebody, backbite somebody, said something bad about somebody behind their back, if I did this today, at any moment, today, during the day, and I have not done tawbah, and these amals are ascended, however good your deeds are, it will not go beyond the first heaven. What happens rather? The Malaika says, if they contain backbiting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to throw them back at the face of the servant. Rather than that, throw them back at the face of the servant who performs it. Now, if this is the case, that whatever good deeds that we've done, and it contains backbiting, in mixed amongst that. Not a single deed that will get passed. That's just for today. How many days are we doing backbiting? How often are we doing it without even realizing that we're doing backbiting? And here's me and you and expecting that I'm going to the house of Allah, I've touched the Khilaf of the Kaaba, I should be a wali of Allah now, because I've done such deeds. I am such a saintly person now because I do such tahajjud and nawafil and ishraq and all these ibadat, so much salawat and durud that I do. But if your deed, if you're persistently doing this act, not a single one of those deeds is even reaching the first heaven. Because it's a scam. Deen isn't about rituals. Deen isn't about, oh, it's this, it's like this. Yes, we have hope in ourselves, but there's a nizam of Allah, there's a system of Allah. It has to reach all the way to Allah for him to accept it, and then you get that reward. That is why, listen very carefully, that whoever in the Quran, وَمَنْ جَاءَ, whoever will come, not whoever has, whoever will come with one good deed, Allah will reward him. It didn't say whoever has one deed, whoever performed it. In other words, is that whoever has come after all hisab has been done and you have one good deed, that is actually your real one good deed in your bank balance. Now imagine before this is what's happening, is that before we face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that our deeds being presented every day. If it's been containing riba in our deeds, in our book of deeds, every day, where has our deeds been going? It's like that person who's got the whole, it's just withering away. Not a single deed you've got for that day. Not a single accepted deed. Imagine. It's not a light matter, it's a very serious matter. No, then what happens is that then, if it doesn't contain any riba, the malaika says, okay, you can go to the second heaven now. Your deeds can go to the second heaven. It reaches the second heaven. When the malaika of the second heaven then sees the deeds, they say, when this action of the servant reaches the second heaven, the guardian of the second heaven said, my Lord has told me not to let the deeds of a person, of a servant pass, if they've been done for any worldly purpose. Here the question of ikhlas is there. What did you do it for? For whom did you do it for? So a lot of times what happens is that when we're doing ibadah, in front of people, so the people think I'm good and the people think I'm doing good. If I'm doing it for a position, so what happens is that if you do certain amount of charity work, we'll give you CEO title. Well, we get the name. We're gonna, because of the fame and name and honor, we do it for this. Because people recognize me as such and such a person, I'll do it for this. Or if I do this good deed, then I will get such and such a reward in terms of this worldly reward. If I do this good deed, I'll be able to get this credit. If I do this good deed, I'll get this. So any worldly reason that you do that deed for, if it was not done for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but for worldly reasons, it doesn't go beyond. What happens? If it's not been done, if it's done for any worldly reason, if you're now, imagine first and foremost, you need to stay away from backbiting. If now, alhamdulillah, you've not done riba, you've done tawbah, alhamdulillah, there's no riba in there. Now the second scan, the second check, the second signpost is what? Has it been done for any worldly purposes? If it contains, and if you have performed this good deeds for worldly purposes, not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, throw back at the face. Rejected. Now again, I'm thinking, but I have done such a good act. I've done such good tilawat. I've done such good studies, or such hard work, such mehnat. I've woken up for tahajjud, I've done such ibadah. What happened there? You're expecting at the end of the day, end of the month, end of the year, you're expecting your bank balance to be high, but unfortunately, it's zero. Number three, what happens is that the guardian, then what happens is that if it's free from it, if they find out these deeds were not done for worldly reasons, then the Malaika says, okay, you can take these deeds up to the third heaven. Let it be scanned there. When the good deeds of a man reaches the third heaven, the guardian of the third heaven says to them, I am the guardian angel of pride. I am the guardian angel of pride. My Lord ordered me not to let the action of servant pass if they are done with pride. Kibr. I am doing the right part. I know more than you. I am better than you. You should all like me. You're all inferior to me. That's why I'm performing. For example, a lot of people, new people, this is one sentiment for people who are actually in masajid. If somebody who you know is a sharabi, if somebody who you know is actually a drunk, a fornicator, alcoholic, druggie, if he's a person who's a sinful person outwardly that you see him, and then all of a sudden he starts coming to the mosque, don't look down upon him. Don't look down upon him. One of the plights that we have in our masajids and centers is that as soon as somebody strange comes, we look and our eyes fixed on that person. It's fixed on that person. Now, usually in the mosque, there'll be 2-3 babas or elders who are like worshippers. They like to worship, they like to pray. And they will say, and look down. Normally, it's an adat. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but generally speaking, that bichara who's actually come from the mosque, he's probably come from the first. As soon as he misses the sunnah, you say, oh, look at him, oh, look at him. Just criticize. He's got the eye of criticism, the eye of nafrat, the eye of looking down, the eye of belittling. Oh, look at him. If he's not wearing the sunnah, oh, look at him, it's not good, this, what is he doing? How dare he come in this way? Who's taught him this? If he's not actually even, let's say, he's just basic person who doesn't know the importance. For some reason, Allah put in his heart to go to the masjid. Our hearts, our arms should be opening, but rather what we do is close upon that person. We look on that person, criticize that person, mock that person. Oh, you, I know you. How now you changed now, have you? Have you changed now after doing all this? But no, this is wrong. House of Allah is house of Allah. It's not our playground, it's Allah's house. And whoever comes to do for Rahman is a guest of Allah. Whoever comes to your house, if he's a guest, you look after him. Allah is that ordering goes, look after my guest. Don't look down upon them. So if you're doing your ibadah good and well, don't look down on somebody who's not actually performing any nafla that you're doing. If he's not dressed as good as you, good and well, don't dress and look down upon that person who's not as dressed as you in the sunnah. Don't look down upon the person. Don't do it with kibr. Don't think I am great, I am better. Never do that. So these are good deeds of a person. If it contains kibr, then Allah, the Malaika says, I am not allowed to let this deed go. He looks it back at the person, faces the person. If it doesn't contain kibr, if it didn't contain riba, if it didn't contain any deed that was done for worldly reason, if it didn't contain kibr, it's allowed to go further up to the fourth. Then when the deeds of the servant reaches the fourth heaven, the guardian of the fourth heaven then says, my Lord has ordered me not to let the action of a servant pass if they were done for self-praise, self-likeness. Ana khair. I am the angel of self-praise. This is who I am. I am the one who scans if there's self-praise in there. In other words, it's like you've got a good voice. You've got good knowledge. You've got good abilities. You want people to say, he's good. Or you're such a good voice. Or you're such a hard worker. Or you're such a this. Or you are fantastic. Your organization build is brilliant. And you want the people to say this. You want the people, oh yes, mashallah. The way you actually teach is fantastic. The way you actually do bayan is beautiful, it's amazing. And you want people to say that, you want people to do that. This is self-likeness. You want people to appreciate you, people to accept you and appreciate you. This is self-likeness. If it has been done for this, so that, or if I do this good deed, people think I'm a good worshipper. Oh, let me just elongate the sajda. Let me make imagine normally how we do namaz. probably 2 rakat, bullet namaz, he would go for 2 minutes, 1, 2, they would go finish and that's it. Once, especially, obviously our beloved Liverpool fans here, I'm sure for the Champions League, they're very eagerly waiting for the Salah and making sure the Rosa is all intact and everything. But there would have been people who would have watched that game, who would have been waiting for Maghrib, but really, when Maghrib was coming, their heart was going to do Maghrib or watch the game. So even if they did Maghrib, but really their eyes were still fixed on the game, in case something happened. Here, what I'm trying to say here is that sometimes our eyes are fixed on other people and we change our act. We change our act. What happens? Normally our namaz would be 2 minutes, but when we know somebody's looking, it's 10 minutes. The child is waiting to lock the door for you to leave. He's a caretaker and he's now having to wait because you are now showing you're such a great abid. Caretaker's thinking, how long is it going to take? And he's trying to tell you in your salah because you're not moving. He wants to go and lock the door up. Yes, then you can say, oh, you should keep the door open 24 hours. But unfortunately, because security reasons, that's why they have to lock the door. So what happens is that we see other people, our mood and character change, everything changes. We see other people, normally we swear and shout, all of a sudden we're angels. Our voices, normally fire comes out our voices, but in front of people it's like angelic. People think, I had people saying he's like this, but he's so beautiful, mashallah. He's never like this. I don't know why people think he has such a bad voice. Honestly, he's rude. Look at his conduct, is beautiful. So, as soon as for other people, for what other people think about you, what other people are actually praising you, this is the fact that you want other people to like your khususiyat, your specialty. Maybe you're good at something. Maybe you've got good voice, you've got good skills, you have good abilities. You've got a good way of orating, you've got a good way of teaching, you've got good ways of actually organizing, you have a good way of dressing, good way of driving. Because of this, you want people to praise you because of that, and that's why you do these good deeds. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, okay, and the angels throw that back at the servant. He's not done it for me, he's done it for self-praise. He hasn't done it for me. Then, if it's free of ghibah, if it's free of worldly reasons, if it's free of kibr, if it's free of self-likeness, it goes to the 5th heaven. And the malaika, when it reaches the 5th heaven, the malaika of the 5th heaven says, I am the guardian of the 5th heaven, and I am the angel of hatred. Hatred, nafrat, animosity. If I see there's any hatred for a fellow Muslim in these deeds there, I am now supposed to throw this back at your face. Now, how many times have we been nafrat of our own brothers, of our own mothers, of our own parents? It's bilkul wrong, completely wrong. But how often have we actually done this? Animosity between brothers and brothers, cousins and cousins, from even father and son. There's animosity between one another, where we're arguing and bickering, and this grudge is developed, and it's crushing us. Crushing our relationship, crushing our relation with one another, crushing our relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the thing is that animosity is the means in which my deeds are not being accepted. Hence why, then you also know why Prophet ﷺ said, is that when the Sahaba were in a majlis once, and they said, if you want to see a person of paradise, look at him now. The Sahabi came in and they all looked at him, they're all mesmerized, and said, this is the person of paradise. Why? Why? Because he didn't have animosity for his fellow brothers, he used to forgive them every night. That's the means to enter paradise, but it was a means for his deeds to be accepted. What's happening is that us having, maybe the bilkul, you're right, they've wronged you of land, or possession, of business, of what, wealth, of honor, or whatever it is. They've wronged you, fine, fair enough. Don't keep grudges and don't keep animosity of that person. It's only going to affect you. The way to understand this about relation with other people is that if you don't like that person, why do you let that person stab you every single day? Because every time you remember that person in a bad way, it's like a stab. It opens up a wound and it's stabbing you deeper. He's done wrong to you, she's done wrong to you. Then what happens? You open it up and you're actually making yourself and hurting yourself even more. Rather, let go and forgive and try to actually keep and not let that thing come inside your heart whatsoever. Cleanse it, be free of it, remove it of your heart. That way you feel free. A lot of pressures, a lot of stress, a lot of burdens between our brothers, when there's infight between brothers, when there's disagreement between brothers and fathers and mothers and so on, a lot of them, what's happening is that because we're keeping these things in, it's affecting our other relationships as well. It's affecting our performances of our deeds. It's affecting our performance at work. It's affecting our performance everywhere else, which is outside of religion. It's affecting it. I can't study. I cannot work. I cannot concentrate. I cannot sleep. I cannot enjoy. I cannot have free time because it's affecting, because we're keeping this baggage inside us. The moment you actually forgive and release that, you'll feel that freedom, that expansion. The chain will actually stay. You literally feel that chain going away and you feel free internally. Your mind will feel free, your heart will feel free. Then you're able to focus, you'll be able to channel, it will be able to work, it will be able to function the way it's supposed to function. But because what happened is that we're letting this animosity, this hatred develop and build and burn inside us, is dragging us down. Day by day. Not only is it dragging us down, it's dragging my deeds down, my relationship down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's taking me towards hellfire rather than towards paradise. That is what's doing. So if these deeds has any animosity, chuck them back in the face of the serpent. If it hasn't, so now your deeds are free from backbite, your deeds are from worldly reason, from kibr, from self-likeness, from hatred. If the deeds are free of this, it goes to the sixth heaven. When it reaches the sixth heaven, now listen to this. When the good action of a man reaches the sixth heaven, the guardian of the sixth heaven says to them, my Lord ordered me not to let the action servant pass if they did not show kindness to the servants that they fell in dangers and calamities. Shafqat and madad and being helpful towards that person who is in need. Now here is something you need to ponder deeply. When we think of person in need, we think about Africa, we think about Pakistan, we think about Bangladesh, we think about Syria, we think about Burma. Sometimes, my dear brothers and elders, is that that person in need might be right next to you. It could be your fellow brother, it could be your sister, it could be your mother, it could be your colleague that needs that help from you. Sometimes it could be a financial need. Sometimes it could be a social need. Meaning that they're feeling lonely, they're feeling depressed. They need an ear to talk to, for you to listen, for you just to be there. Sometimes a financial need. Many brothers are suffering financially, which we don't know, but they are too embarrassed to go and ask. To go and ask and say, I got this debt on me, I got this burden on me. Imagine how happy. That's why you heard, now you hear in this hadith that the person who makes that person, the greatest deed a person can do, the Prophet said, is that person who makes the heart of a Muslim happy. If you were to now remove that problem, financial problem, by borrowing him some money, how happy would that person be? And if that person is happy, you know, many times say, brother, make dua for me, make dua for me. What would, without a shadow of doubt, that person, if you were to help him in this situation where he's financially burdened, and a person was to help him, that person, without you asking, would sincerely from the bottom of his heart make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You've earned that dua, not requested that dua. And the dua that is earned is readily accepted. What happened? The person may be going through some marital problems. If you can give some advice for him to leave, you've saved that person from a lot of harm. That person may need some help with some work. He doesn't know how to do something. He's struggling. They may need some help in other aspects of their life that you have experience of. So to help and assist, to show kindness and gentleness to that person who comes and asks for, seeks for help, that should always be present. You know, this is a sign of a Muslim. Sign of a Muslim. Ikram al-Muslimin, one of the elements of what we do, we honor our brothers. If he needs our help, we're always there, readily available to help him. That is what is our duty bound right as Muslims upon one another, to honor my fellow brother. So if that person didn't show kindness, shafqat, compassion upon whatever deeds that he did, then what happens is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what happens, rather than actually showing kindness when that person is, for example, a person has an accident and you laugh, haha. A person has been burgled and you laugh, haha, look at him. A person's business has been destroyed and you're laughing at him. Oh, they're called, he deserves it. No. That is not how you, even I say to you that even if you see non-Muslims, their business going down, you shouldn't laugh. You shouldn't laugh. Why? However, when they've done the endeavor, this is how it's happened. You pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them more, and you also pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguards you as well. It is not a good quality to see somebody suffering, a business suffering, even if it's your competitor. You shouldn't want him ill for them. You're in a taxi, that person, you're in ranking, and that person ranks ahead of you. And you say, oh, look at that. And then what happens? He gets a run and you say, you deserve that. It's still it's a risk. You wouldn't want that to happen to you, so why are you laughing at somebody else's misfortune? So let alone helping that person, he used to laugh and take enjoyment from the calamity and loss of others. I am the angel of kindness, of shafaqah. Allah subhanahu throw these deeds back at the face of the servant who performs it. Now, if your deeds didn't contain this, it now goes to what? The seventh heaven. You're nearly there. Our deeds are nearly there. It goes to the seventh heaven. What happens when the good action of man reaches the seventh heaven? The guardian of the seventh heaven says, my Lord ordered me not to let the action of the servant pass if they were not done to please me and they were not done for my sake. Sirf Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rida ke liye, or sirf Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ke liye, to actually do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sake, for Him alone, and for His pleasure. If they were not done for this, then what happens is that, but rather doing it for me, they're done for fame and name, or for show, throw them back at the face of the servant. And if they have been free of this, and they did perform these deeds for the sake of Allah, and they bypassed all the others, then the deeds is now even further. Now, this was the angel doing the doing. This was the angel checking your deeds now. They were checking, okay, is the ghiba, is the worldly reasons, is the kibr, is the self-likeness, is there hatred, is there actually kindness there, were they done for the sake of Allah? From our side, yes, Allah, this is done now. Then again, it's then taken for Allah's judgment. Now it's reached Allah's court, in His court. Now, you think, Alhamdulillah, it's done now, it's Allah's court. But wait, what happens? What happens? Then Allah judges for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah says, you are representing the action of my servant, and I am the guard of man's heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guard of man's heart. I am the guard of man's heart. I know these deeds were not done to please me. Imagine we can be such that our deeds can pass. The angel thinks, yes, this person is doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now Allah decides, no, I still know this was not done for me. Imagine. How on earth are we sitting here thinking and professing that we've never learned anything but from Bachpan when we went to madrasa, from mosque, maktab, we learned al-ibadat, our teachers, etc. After that we did nothing to strengthen our iman, to nothing to learn how to make it our deeds acceptable and pleasable. We do nothing. And yet still we're thinking our deeds, our bank balance should be increasing day by day. Look at this, Allah SWT is saying that I know these are not done for my sake. I am aware. These deeds were not done for me. So I am aware that these deeds were not done to please me. So now listen to this. When Allah SWT declared they were not done for Him, so my la'nat, my curse, is upon Him. Allah protect us from this. That despite we've been free from ghibah, despite being free from kibr and self-likeness and all the other things, there's still such acute measures where whether we've done this deed for Allah or not, and still Allah says, no, they were not done for me. And Allah is saying that if they are not done for me, this is why shirk is the greatest thing you can ever do. It's to do for someone else or something else. Allah curses that person. And then you worry and you think, Hajj pe kya tha, kya hua? This person, I've gone for Hajj, this person gone for Hajj, this person gone to Thingy, this place, this person is a namazi, how come this happened? This person is praying, he's a Panchwat namazi, he's praying 5 times a day, how come it's like this? This person is a good person outwardly, but nobody knows man's heart apart from Allah. I was hearing the other day that this person is in Europe, somebody died, became a shaheed from a car accident, ran them over, they became a shaheed. Now the person thinking is that how the person become shaheed when this person was not even, they were not practicing. This is what we're doing, we're judging. We're judging people by outward garment and outward trends, but we see, oh, that person outwardly was bad, he must have been bad. No, you do not know the state of a person's heart. We do not know how that person's heart is. Only Allah SWT knows. Just like that person, Sahih Bukhari, the very first thing that Sayyidina Imam Bukhari they narrated in the hadith, one of the very first hadiths they raised about niyat, about innamal a'mal binniyat, and he raised the story of what that person killed 99 people. It's telling me and you is stop being judgmental and seeing and looking at people, the outward forms, because we don't know man's heart. We don't know what's in that person's heart. We don't know that person's been to Allah. We do not know if that person has been praying to Allah every single night. We don't know if that person, the last moment, is actually wanting to change. We do not know that. Allah knows. Whereas we have been doing, we know our deficiency, we know where we're slacking, we know where we're actually going wrong, we know that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and yet still we are actually thinking we're better. That person, if he has the same favorable situation, maybe he becomes even better than us. We do not know. After hearing this, Sayyidina Mu'az, he said, Ya Rasulullah, he became very fearful. He said, you are the messenger of Allah, I am just Mu'az, Ya Rasulullah. Imagine, he said that you are the light of the light, and I am nothing. You are the most beloved, and I am nothing. How can I possibly think that I can do any deed, perform any deed, if this is such the way in which Allah SWT measures the person, his deeds by? Look at the concern of Sayyidina Mu'az. My dear brothers and elders, is that where's mine and your concern? Is that if ghibah is prominent in you and you know you're doing ghibah, think that not a single day has passed and the days we're doing ghibah and not a single good deed has gone past or been accepted. If you have kibr, if you've been doing things for worldly reasons, if you have self-likeness, if you have hatred and animosity, if you've not shown compassion for people in need, and if you've not done deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where is mine in the situation in terms of deeds in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's nothing. Maybe it's minus. And here's me and you, that's why in the day of judgment, the real muflis is that person, the real bankrupt of that person is when he goes and at the court of Allah, when all the judgments were made, he had tons of mountains of heaps of good deeds, and it withered away to nothing. Then rather, he actually put on a minus with other people who got deeds on. So after hearing this, knowing the fact that we have been praying, but if we did riba, our prayer is literally more or less not accepted, what would mean you do about it? If you know this is a habit which is there, a habit which has become ingrained in us, and it's not actually changing me and you, it's not changing from my life, it's not going away from my life, what have you done about it? Just like I said at the beginning, if you found out that the box in which you're putting your money in, you find out there's a hole. Once you find out there's a hole and you keep on putting money in and you're not fixed it, you are to blame for the loss of that money. Now you know that the riba is a problem for you. You know that you do deeds not for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that you have got kibr in you. You know you got self-likeness in you. You know you got all these other evils in you, and you're not doing anything to fix it. It's like it's withering away, killing all your good deeds. Who is then to blame on the day of judgment? Who is to blame? Who is to blame then when maut will come? Now, after hearing that, you now have got to make a very, very important decision. Every single one of us here now, people who are listening, is that if we realize these habits, these sins, have such potent effect upon the acceptance of my deeds, what do I do to cure this? What do I do to solve this? What do I do to actually eradicate this? If since from 10, 12, 15, I have been like this, and I've been performing my deeds like this, yet still my mannerism, my akhlaq, my attitude, my way of life, my going, the way that I actually spend my life has not changed, then there's something wrong. It needs changing. And for that, that is why these brothers are here. That is for this reason, is the need, that's why we say the need and importance of knowing how to fix. If riba is a problem, how to fix that. If actually hate is a problem, how to fix that. If kibr is a problem, how to fix that. And for that fixing, to rectify, to fix, to do islah, that is what we call TAZKIYAH. Purification. To purify from the evil characteristics and evil deeds, inward and outward deeds that we have. Because here you can see, riba is something you perform outwardly with the tongue. But making niyyah and doing something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's inner. Nafrat is inner. Animosity is inner. Self-life is inner. Majority was talking about the inner. And only one aspect was talking about the outer. In other words, we think outwardly we're all right, but have we ever introspected inwardly? For those of us who, alhamdulillah, most of you are dressed in a sunnah garb, you're practicing. Outwardly we're practicing, but have we, outwardly we practice the sunnah, but what about the inner sunnah? Outwardly we wear the garb of piety, but what about the inward garb of piety? What is that? What is the state of our mind? What is the state of our heart? Outwardly, alhamdulillah, it looks beautiful, looks angelic, but inwardly we may be dragons and vultures. We don't know the state of our heart, and sometimes we do. We know we have an anger problem. We know we have an attitude problem. We know we have this problem, that problem, but we're not actually changing it. For that reason, brothers are here. If you want, and that's why we had retreats. We have this retreat. We have all these different types of retreats to address this issue. And for this, really after hearing today, if you have any issues, you should be sitting here after salah, after the dhikr, after durood and salawat. You should be sitting and saying, brother, I need help, I need issues, because obviously it seems to me after hearing this is that I am a person of zero. I have nothing really. Because these habits are in me, and have been in me, and will remain in me until I actually address them. And to address that, sit with one of the brothers, learn about what this path of purification, path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and how to actually fix that, to mend that. And that path is none other way. Sayyidina Mu'az was told by one of the Prophets, just to finish the last bit, then we'll stop for Salah. Sayyidina Mu'az, was told when he said, "You are the messenger of Allah, I am Mu'az," Rasulullah just said to him, this is the nasih he gave, follow my sunnah even if you have a short life. Is that if you just follow the sunnah, now sunnah is that we follow the, yes, dari rakhe, sunnah libas pehna, yes, what about the inner sunnah, the sunnah of the mind, the sunnah of the heart, the sunnah of the spirit? What about those sunnah? When Rasulullah says follow my sunnah, it means holistically. How to now do that? Learn about his path. Learn about his way. One of the brothers will be here to actually sit with you, to go through that and explain what this path is and to explain how you can fix that. Jazakallah says jaza. Subhanaka wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. If the time for the month, how is it over? Just